Thanks for tuning into the Carry Handle podcast. Here's your host, Bryce and Kevin.
Welcome back to the Carry Handle podcast. My name is Bryce, and with me is always, or as always, is Kevin. Kevin, how are you? And what are you up to? Why are you squinting like that?
My eyes have been blinded by some mysterious green light.
It looks
that
like
came
you're
from the
like
internet.
trying to like cosplay somebody in Mulan.
Wow, that went south so
No.
quick.
What? No, they have the ladies that have like the makeup.
Yeah,
and the,
no, do the friends.
Okay, I'll do the friends of the channel. I thought that was funny. It's topical anyway.
We want to take this time to thank friends of the channel who provided us 10% discount codes for our listeners. That's you, and we don't get kickbacks. First is Hammy 3D Prints. Thousands of products for firearm storage and other fun stuff too. Code CarryHandle10. Eastern Shore Sling Company. Handmade rifle slings and custom sewing. Dog leashes too. Code CarryHandle. 19 Charlie Tactical. Gunsmithing, Kydex holsters, thousands of drop-ship gun parts, accessories, tools, firearms. Code TheCarryHandle10. And lastly, I want to thank myself for all the scheduling and all the shenanigans I deal with daily. Thank you, Hannah.
Yes, thank you, Hannah, indeed. Kevin, what has precipitated this meeting of the two smoothest brains this side of the gun
Well,
sphere?
we actually brought in some more smoother brains. We brought in some.
No, we're supposed to talk nicely about the guest, Kevin. Nicely.
Oh,
I thought you were referring to us. I'll be honest.
hey, it's that guy. It's the
okay,
dude from
yeah.
YouTube.
So we have Hop and we have Brass Facts. Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Oh, we've been smoothing as best we can lately.
Oh, that's the quality stuff right there, you know. No, okay. Just as smooth. Technically, this was supposed to be a trio, but we had somebody else that was preoccupied, unfortunately. But we will rock out with the proverbial two out.
Luke cannot be here because he's currently monitoring the situation.
There you go. Yeah, we were going to talk about F-18s, but we can't.
Yeah,
we're going to have to hard pivot here.
That's it's too soon. It's too soon to talk about tragic, F-18s really. After that.
Yeah,
it's not for them. It isn't.
A loss of two airframes. I was going to say bad.
So that is going to be a bit of a bummer for anybody that was definitely looking forward to a lot of aggressive.
Stay and wait. We'll talk about other things that are cooler than F-18s.
Yeah, we could talk about other stuff like that. But for the people that don't know, we've actually had both of these gentlemen on in their own respective episodes. Luke actually as well. So you can go look at and listen to their episodes. But for all intents and purposes, everybody knows who you gentlemen are. Usually they don't know who we are, but I don't mind that. But the
what? Sorry, I'm very sleepy and tired. Is that canned Lipton tea?
Is what?
No.
What is that?
Have you noticed at the store that there is now a Sprite and tea beverage?
No, bring that back up again.
It's just a beer.
Weird. Okay, I don't know. Whatever.
This is not a video podcast.
So I had to interrupt him for what he was drinking. That's sorry. Yeah.
This is what we talked about last time. The fact that this is not a video podcast, and yet there are so many references to things that are only happening on
the
screen.
Things that and we get requests for video now too.
Don't make me start doing my hand thing again.
Yeah, really make it confusing. But we had a list of topics that we wanted to cover. It's not really hard and fast. We've never really done a multi-guest episode before. But Kevin, do you have the list?
I do have the list. Right. Thank God.
I know it's not even really an original list, mind you, but it's what we got.
Artificial drum roll, please.
I don't want to do that because
you're fucking.
I don't
want
to break what I'm doing here.
You're absolutely fucking terrible.
I'm gonna ruin something.
All right. So first question or two, I guess we'll mix them together to keep time a thing. So PCCs, what are they good for? And are suppressors a must-have?
So I mean, I guess
It's heavy.
Yeah.
I've been trying to
So
answer the PCC question for myself for years, and I don't know if I can actually say for sure that they are real.
Are
But-
you on the correct mic?
Maybe?
You sounded
Yes,
fine.
supposedly.
No, you're just quiet.
Potentially.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
technically.
That's okay. This is a video podcast, so people can look at your lips.
Well, yeah, they can read his lips. He's clearly video.
Read my lips.
Yep.
PCCs are heckin' valid.
See, I recently figured out there isn't a lot of selection, or at least maybe it's not a satisfying selection for the PCC market in terms of 9mm, not just direct blowback AR9 things. I mean, I guess we got the Kuna, which is, I think, roller delayed, maybe? I don't remember.
Roller
Yeah,
delay,
so-
but it's not roller's delay, and that's the real distinction to make.
Right, that's
the
like the
new Taurus
Strybog, though, right?
Yeah, the Kun is like a Strybog clone or something, I think, or potentially vice versa. But the new Taurus RPC is rollers delay. It's got real rollers like an MP5, so I can't wait to shoot one of those. And it's also small enough that that may be the main thing, is like, are full-size PCCs legit? That's a really tough argument. But are PDW PCCs legit? I think everybody's already accepted those. Thanks in no small part to the work done by my colleague here.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was going to ask. What do we mean by PCCs? Because historically, PCCs have meant carbine sized. You know, there's a small, like it's subtle, but it's in the name, right?
Yeah.
Which is around 16 inches, and that was like a rifle equivalent, but in 9mm. And I think those have been pretty dumb for a pretty long time, outside the express goal of my boy Lance winning another PCC match or something like that.
Yeah.
With the most tricked out 9mm thing of all time. But short of that, maybe as a trainer, but even then, it's like with pistol braces, it's like, what are you doing? I think from that perspective of the raw definition of PCC,
That's
I guess
the
I more
training
meant,
gun thing is always a weird one, because in order to get the legit training value that you really want, you basically have to duplicate a setup, but in a different caliber. And yes, 9mm is still substantially cheaper than 5.56. But what's the break even on building a near clone of your gun that you want to get experience on, but in 9mm with a whole new set of magazines and bullshit like that, just so that you can get some training value?
Yeah,
It's
the
weird.
whole ecosystem.
It's hard
that
to
you have
justify.
You have to build.
well,
But it is,
guess
I mean,
in
it
this
is way cheaper,
definition-
though. It's like almost half the price per round, right? Like 25 cents per round versus 50. So if you are doing a huge
Yeah.
volume of shooting, maybe it is.
Yeah.
That was my motivation, is I can sometimes shoot on my lunch, and I was thinking I wouldn't go broke as quick as if I had built like
Just a lunch blaster.
a 9mm little lunch, or like take it and like one of those like the savior bags, the low profile savior bags, because they're convenient, and I can just throw it next to my desk and go shoot at lunch. But I can't really do that with 5.56 because it sucks to
So-
shoot inside and it's expensive.
So what I'm hearing is PCC in the traditional sense, like being a carbine 16 inches, is kind of like dead and gone. It's more like the PDW
it was
idea.
never here to begin with, to be fair. I think almost universally that was I can't think of it right now, but you know, there's a lot of facts that people are like, actually every single, and those facts
they're not showing us right now, I'm sure. It's
I call
fine.
those Reddit
Yeah.
facts.
There you go.
yeah, and it's facts that everyone already knows, and people are like, hot take.
Well, okay. How about this?
Hot take.
Can we all agree that the M1 carbine was probably the best PCC?
No.
It
No, we
wasn't a
cannot.
PCC until AMT got around to making the
That was a
Automag 3.
PDW. I think you're mixing up PDW and PCC.
Am I mixing up PDWs?
No,
Yeah,
that was
you
a
are.
carbine. That's absolutely a carbine.
But it wasn't a
Thank
pistol
you.
caliber.
And
The
no,
first
was-
time a
it
handgun was
was-
chambered in 30 carbine, and I mean, also,
That-
again,
yeah.
carbine, it's in the name of the fucking
Technically.
cartridge. The
It
first
is in the
time,
name.
as far as I know, that a handgun was chambered in 30
Listen
carbine
here,
was
buddy.
the
30
AMT
Chiappa-
Automatic 3.
carbine was
doesn't Chiappa make the 9mm like straight blowback in
Chiappa?
one thing? Is it not Chiappa?
That's a
There's a
revolver
9mm.
company.
It takes like Beretta mags, and it's basically just a straight blowback 9mm carbine, but it just looks like an M1 carbine.
Sounds
Okay,
awful.
okay,
What about the
that's-
Marlin
it's-
Camp carbine? Nut and Fancy was a big proponent of that.
All
Took
right,
Smith and
so-
Wesson 450 or 5906 mags.
How do we get back to Nut and Fancy era? Hour and a
He's-
half
he's
videos about
By
ARs.
subscribing to Nut and
OGs.
Fancy because he's still doing it, man.
He's the OG.
Oh. I just meant the ecosystem. I don't know what happened. I think it's too much money in it now. A lot of people think there's a lot of money. There's a lot of people. We started talking to a lot of people who aren't really gun people, which I thought was fucking weird because I lived in a bubble where everybody I'm consuming their content that they're creating is like actually a gun person. And then it's just like, oh no, they don't actually like guns. They just make money doing this. That's weird. That's a very bizarre thing for me, was realizing people
Damn.
sometimes aren't.
Those
Damn
people
you-
might be
damn you,
happier than we are, though.
capitalism.
Yeah,
You think so?
Probably.
Well, I mean, they're less frustrated and they don't understand the gun world anyway, so there's nothing for them to get upset about.
And they don't really care if they get something wrong or if people get upset about their ideas because they don't actually have any attachment to them, you know? It's not like
Yeah, it's for profit.
Yeah.
Capitalism at its finest.
it's just clocking into the day job then going home.
Yeah, I'm not shit talking people that want to just do that for fun, for pay, or even for a paycheck. Like that's cool.
Oh, I'll
But
shit on those
it's
people
just-
all day
It's,
long. Yeah.
it's interesting.
All right, what
If
about
there's no passion, then then the marriage is dead and you should break up.
Yeah, but if it's a
Yeah.
job, I mean, like if that's your day job, like does
Find-
everybody have that kind of passion
a
for
new
their
jo-
day job?
You
I don't
gotta
know.
have
The problem is
passion
that
for the job.
like you could work. There's a lot of positions in the gun industry that are literally like absolutely just jobs, like desk jobs,
Yeah.
doing administrative shit, and paperwork, and you could have very little interest in firearms. But if you think you're on the creative side of it, it'd be like, Clint Eastwood being like, I fucking hate directing movies, but I gotta do something for work. You'd be like, not this, man.
He's a great example. I still see pictures of him, and he almost doesn't look like a walking skeleton. It's impressive. That man is a unit.
That may be a bad example because I don't know if Clint Eastwood likes movies at all.
Oh,
he
jeez.
seems so passive about it. Just like, yeah, that's good enough.
And he makes his last 3 movies were like all the same thing. He's very adamant about an old
Jeez.
white man doing something with passion.
Yeah.
God
that's-
bless.
Old passionate white men that changed the world.
Lord.
It's like, listen, I'm getting older, but I'm still relevant.
All right. Okay. What about we're in the year 2026 now. Suppressors have become stupidly easy to obtain.
Well, that's it. The PCCs are done. You're
I
able
don't
to-
know. I mean, we're not.
They
What,
suck.
what else is
You
there to
didn't
say about?
say anything else.
I was
just
trying
us
to say
talking
stuff,
about
and I
nonsense.
Okay, all right, fine,
got
all right, all right.
interrupted by red
Okay, all right,
facts.
I'll-
Well,
I'll-
we would
I'll
like
bring it
we would
back.
like to hear your
I'll
input.
bring it back to
let's talk
PCCs.
suppressors. Suppressors are in, baby.
And the PCC conversation is now.
I'm still shopping for a PCC. The selection just blows dick. That's my only input to the PCC conversation.
Well,
It's
there's only
cheap
like
and it's kind of
three.
fun.
There's only like 3 good ones.
There's
5 MP5.
there's the
and
AR9, which is
MP5.
the
Oh,
closest you're
here's
gonna
a
get to your
hot take.
trainer.
Here, let's get this going. Direct blowback, PCCs, PDWs, whatever you want to call it, not nearly as big of a deal as people make it out to be. The difference between one of the worst direct blowback, like cheapest direct blowback PCCs, PDWs, PDWs, whatever, who cares, and the best shooting guns is not nearly as big of a deal as you think. Let's take something like the EP9. I think that's like a $400 like AR-15 sort of AR-9 style gun. The most direct blowback that ever direct blowbacked, and compare it to something like a MP5. Let's go with something like the Kuna, right? Because that's a modern production. You're going to put a suppressor on it because, look, you're buying a gun. You're buying a 9mm gun, you're probably going to put a suppressor on, even if you don't, but especially if you put a suppressor on it. The recoil difference is not that significant, and there's actually major upsides to direct blowback in terms of recoil speed and cyclic rate and how the gun resets back to center. And in fact, I don't actually I think MP5 recoil patterns is somewhat overrated because it's a very slow plop, plop, plop style recoil, and on semi-automatic, that's horrific for getting rounds on target quickly. And yeah, not direct blowback's not that bad when it's on 9mm, especially with a suppressor. It's actually quite nice, and it recoils pretty fast. It's cheap, but who gives a shit? So is direct. Like, roller delayed is cheap as well. It's not that complex. Also, it behaves a lot more with suppressors and all that stuff. So yeah, there's the hot take. I think people like shitting on direct blowback because they view it as this ultra simplistic, like, caveman-like recoil system. But fuck it, whatever. Your handgun is basically direct blowback, right? Like, I mean, let's be honest, right? It's just there's a slight shoulder and then it rolls over and it's there.
So
There
my
you go.
favorite-
I hammed that up to be a little bit more of an asshole, but
Wow, that was a really hot take.
my dog just got out of a fucking 5-hour thing and her heart's giving
Brass
out.
Facts
I'm in a bad mood,
316
so
says I
He's
just
feeling
kicked your ass."
passionate now.
feeling spicy.
We fired him up.
Feeling spicy.
That being said, the piston in the back of the fucking APC-9 does nothing. It's just there so BNT can claim it's not true direct blowback, but now that bitch is direct blowback.
Yeah, they've got a
Incredible.
whole lot of the same gun, and they try to make it seem like they're not all the same gun, but they basically make one gun, and it's a Sten gun, but it's a rectangle instead of a tube. And that's fine. That's good, and it works, and we shouldn't be mad at them for that.
That being said, the piston is nice for FRT. I think it cuts out just enough that the gun kind of jiggles in place instead of doing the video game rise.
Hopefully, it also means you're not going to blow yourself up.
No,
Hopefully.
Well,
I mean, I've successfully blown myself up several times. You should have
So,
seen me
okay.
before I had guns.
I've an Arrow EPC-9 that I've put an insane number of rounds through, and I really, really like it. I know it took Arrow a long time to get around to like making the EPC-9 good. They had to fix the barrel feed cone profile. They had to fix their buffer system. Like, initially, the EPC-9 was a bit rough. It ended up being awesome just in time for Arrow to probably go out of business. So that's great. And then right after they stopped producing parts for the EPC-9, I had an out-of-battery detonation while ammo testing and blew mine up. So yeah, fuck
Wasn't
my
that with NAS3
chungus
though?
life.
Wasn't that with NAS3?
Yeah.
The Glazers or whatever the fuck they're called?
Yeah, so with the seismic quake makers.
Whoa.
Those are
Jeez.
garbage.
I'm still not
They're
sure
a
how it
little
happened.
spicy, apparently.
I wanted
No,
to do
they're not
chrono.
spicy. That's the problem.
They're
what are they?
Oh, Hop,
For-
explain.
Well, so it's the seismic quake maker, aka the ammo from Tarkov. It uses the shell shock case technology, so it's the stainless steel case or stainless steel base with a brass body. I can't remember which part of it. Some part of it is stainless steel. I think
It's
it's
a
the base
bimetal
of the
case?
Yeah, it's a bimetal case.
Okay.
But the theory is that it can handle higher pressures. So what they can do with 9mm is they can use a 185 grain projectile. And so they don't call it plus P, they call it plus M. So it's extra mass. And the theory is solid. If you're trying to keep it subsonic, what can you do? The only thing you can do to increase the effectiveness of the bullet would be to make it bigger and expand bigger. So, okay, 85 grain, that's above the level. You basically cannot get above that with like 40 Smith & Wesson, typically,
Yeah.
because the initially when people tried to use 200 grain projectiles in 40 Smith & Wesson, they kept blowing them the fuck up. So they had to scale it back down. So it's like 165 is your default, and 180 is your heavy for caliber option for 40 Smith & Wesson. So if you can get a 9mm and 185 grains, pretty impressive. The bullet is now so massive that there's no case capacity left. So they, I guess, have to increase the pressure. So then they have to use these special shell shock cases to handle the pressure. The problem being is that they still, with all of this space taken up, I guess they cannot actually get it back to like that 900 to 1,000 feet per second range that you want your subsonic ammo to be in. So it's way slower than that. So it ends up just not being very good. And then it blew my gun up, although I'm not sure that's the gun's fault.
Jesus.
So a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's just energy. I mean, it's hard to say with handgun rounds because handgun rounds, energy doesn't matter, really, right? I mean, everyone loves to pretend that energy matters and then also say that 45 versus 9mm is irrelevant. Energy doesn't matter at handgun speeds, unfortunately.
You're
Energy
poking
is
holes.
able to do things like barrier defeat, blast through a bone, and still expand properly and hit pen depths. But this round is very weird in that it's very slow and heavy. So you also you have comparable energy to regular 9mm. So I don't know. I was messing with them, and it just the formula seems ass backwards.
And they-
Well,
think it's
why
just
would
a
you want to
novelty round then?
bimetal? Why would you want a bimetal case, something designed to take higher pressures, when you're trying to get subsonic though? That doesn't.
Well,
Well,
that's
you get subsonic
case
via
capacity's lost.
very heavy mass on the round, so the round is significant. So a regular 9mm round is like 124 grain, I would say.
What's
Yeah.
the net gain
And this
from
is
that?
per
What do
this is
you-
per this is 180 grain. So
Yeah.
you're looking at a
It's
quick
just a
math,
big-
like 30% increase. Yeah.
A big chungus
Okay.
bullet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the theory
Yeah,
is
that's
solid because
interesting.
the theory is that
It's
you
40 cal.
don't
but
want to
in
exceed subsonic velocity. So whatever, you say like a comfortable subsonic velocity that will stay subsonic at most barrel lengths is like 950 to 1,000, I think. Usually it's like
right.
what you like most 147 is probably going to be around there.
Okay.
So, okay, now how can we eke more effectiveness out of this? If we make it go faster, then it breaks the sound barrier, and then we've lost our suppressed performance that we wanted. So that's not an option. What can we do? What if we can make the same speed, or we can make a heavier projectile go at the same speed? That's the idea. The execution is, we can't make the heavier projectile go at the same speed. It's going to go a little bit slower.
a lot of it slower.
Quite a lot
Yeah.
slower. Yeah, 150 to 200 feet per second, maybe slower. So then it's basically like, all right, we actually haven't gained anything. We've just traded some velocity
We've
for some
moved the
mass,
math
which is
around,
how
and
bullets
unfortunately,
always
velocity
work.
matters.
That's what it sounds. Okay, cool.
that
So
sounds like
that's kind of
some,
what it sounded like. I was like, it sounds like
That
we've
sounds like
gotten
some
nowhere.
Three Stooges math right there. Where they're- remember that scene, the Three Stooges? They're doing the math.
I believe
doing
I've
it,
paid
like,
extra
all
money
wrong.
for nothing.
Yeah.
But whatever. I was only even trying to get some chrono testing because if you read their website, they're like, this ammo does great out of subguns and full-size handguns. So they are clearly aware that achieving velocity does require a little bit more barrel with their ammo. So I was like, okay, I'll test it out of a Glock 43, I'll test it out of a full-size Glock, and I'll test it out of an 8-inch EPC 9. And I chronoed it against a bunch of different ammo, and literally the last 5 rounds that I was going to shoot for that day was going to be 5 rounds of this stuff through my EPC 9. First round, I think it left the barrel. I showed the video clip to a buddy, and he's like, I think I can hear gravel shifting on the berm after that shot, even though it didn't register on the chrono. And then second shot blows up, chrono reads an error. So I don't know. Anyway, the point that I was getting at before I got carry handle podcasted, which is a verb that I'm going to be using more going forward in my life, is that I really, really like my EPC 9.
No.
It shoots awesome with the new buffer and the new barrel. Luke and I we just bump fire the fuck out of it all the time. It's got several thousand rounds through it of just sustained bump fire, Magpul drums, 33 round sticks. Like it's been fantastic. And because it's still an AR, I can put accessories on it like a real gun. And then because it uses Magpul or Glock mags, I have a shitload of those already. I don't have to invest in it. I was like, this is cool. This has maybe some potential training value. And none of that matters because Arrow is going out of business.
Wow.
Well,
Full circle.
I have found that I kind of just want a direct blowback AR of some sort. I know Maxim makes that roller delayed thing in the back, so I could play with that, I guess.
I had one. I tested it.
Yeah.
I liked the shooting dynamic a lot because it felt like it cycled quickly and it stayed a little flatter. So I really like that part of it.
with it, though.
But yeah, it was just the like administrative stuff where it's like I just want to
Yeah.
lock the bolt back, and it's a pain in the ass because you have to overcome the rollers. So I got rid of it. I was like, I'd rather just deal with the whatever it is, like the 10-ounce buffer weight, instead of trying to use this thing.
I know.
And also,
I found
it's expensive. The whole point of this project, right, in your mind is like, I'm going to save money, and then you end up buying a whole new set of mags, and you buy a $250 buffer spring, and you're like, oh wait, did I save money or did I just?
The magazine thing for
pivoted.
me
You pivoted
is like,
your
I
money.
guess would I just standardize on the Colt mags, but they don't seem
don't
to
think
do
you
well
should.
in carriers.
They don't seem to do well. You're good. That's it.
I don't like those Colt mags. There's a video coming out on the Nova Group
Wow.
soon
Fair.
about AR9 magazines.
Colt mags are not good. A lot of people show up to the matches that I shoot with Colt mags because there's the serious tryhards. Sorry, my rice cooker. I bought a new rice cooker because I just got really drunk one night and bought an expensive rice cooker.
Nice.
But it's one of those Asian ones, so it does the Samsung like washing machine.
Oh,
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
Fucking song. I
Like
don't
a
know if you've heard
little
any
tune?
of that, but it was quite loud and extensive. Yeah. You got the tryhards with normal guns. Then you got the intermediates like me shooting like APC 9s or whatever like that. And then you got the guy showing up with fucking the DOE gun or whatever. The Colt
Oh
mags.
yeah, the H&R
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
The nuke
those
defense
Colt
gun.
mags are not good. I mean, not that the B&T mags are particularly amazing either, but good lord, I've seen.
So yeah, if you want it to work and you want it to be relatively cheap, Magpul Glock mags work great in the EPC 9, surprisingly, and of course you probably already have some Glock mags. That's the objectively correct choice. People just don't like it because the mag goes in at an angle instead of straight in. They're like,
Well, you can't also load it like a rifle.
does-
That's the
It
big one.
goes in an
That's-
angle. I don't like that.
I will admit the angle thing bugs the fuck out of me.
All right. Well,
It
so
does
are you
irritate
here?
me.
it's a bullshit
Let's
answer,
not
but it's
call
also
any-
true.
well,
It is annoying.
It is really annoying.
Says the
Over
guy
time,
that
it gets
refused
more
to buy
annoying.
a Glock APC 9 because, despite having Gorgillion Glock mags, because I fucking hate how it looks. In my
It
defense,
is-
I have
it's-
12
it's a
APC
tough
9
look.
mags.
I mean, I understand, and I've been hearing that the newer Magpul mags are not as bad, so
They're bad.
relatively inexpensive. Relatively inexpensive options for something I'm not using for anything like seriously. 'Cause
A
it's
blowback
toy.
AR9 is going to be more tolerant of the mag fouling than an actual Glock is. So as many
Yeah.
issues as I have, and I know Brock has had with Magpul Glock P mags in Glocks, zero issues with them in the EPC 9. It's just a rowdy ass blowback gun with
interesting.
an incredibly heavy buffer in it. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
keep chugging. Same thing
Well,
with the
remember,
drums, surprisingly effective.
Wow.
I'm
Awesome.
out in
That's good.
Utah combined with me. So that's a pretty bad because remember, you do a reload, you do the cool guy thing, the mag falls to the ground and it ingests a little
yeah.
bit of dust every single time. And
Yeah.
while some of it comes out, some of it just fuses into the magazine.
It's
for the
just
rest of the
there
time.
forever.
And
It doesn't take that much to make these things stop.
Well, yeah. I mean, so all my mags are like that, right? All of them have that stuff. So my Magpul mags go to shit pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We went out to Idaho, and shot with Red Right Hand, and he has a trench, so it's deep in the earth, and yeah, stuff went to shit within a single range trip, if not two range trips, right? The Mark 1 Sloglu was starting to have issues within the second range trip in terms of feeding because the mags were dirty, the gun was dirty. Yeah,
Interesting.
moon dust is a bad thing. So the brass facts, like having issues with something, the brass facts. Wow, I'm referring to
Damn,
myself.
Sons of Liberties can't catch a win, man.
Yeah, no.
So much for
Focus-
combat gassing.
Focus already did the video.
Oh,
that I did.
no.
Yeah.
I know, dude.
Focus
that
went
was
hard as a motherfucker against that thing.
that was hard. as
But I'm
shit.
a little sad he didn't actually show anything in that video, unfortunately. Like the accuracy, like I have some, like I want to show the accuracy in the other issues the gun has, but I think he just kind of shit on it from a conceptual perspective.
Yeah.
I don't. Did he also go through the entire video without mentioning any of Mike Mihalski's personal troubles? Which is
No, he mentioned
No,
one.
he sort of had a clip in there about it, but not extensively. No, not really. I mean, there was a little bit about like everybody can buy the gun or whatever, but
Yeah,
No.
so that's. I was talking more about the incidents involving law enforcement. I think unmentioned.
No,
Well-
that was not discussed.
In any case, those magazines. I took a Ruger RXM to a little shooting match, and I took 3 fresh out of the package 17-round Magpul Glock P mags. And on stage 3, they started to have enough dust that if I shot the gun one-handed, it didn't have enough oomph to overcome the
Very common.
friction, and so they stopped working. Those mags still feed perfectly in the EPC 9 because it just doesn't give a fuck.
That's interesting. I had problems with the early PMags. Just, I mean, even on indoor ranges, like they would just not feed. It would just the follower would get hung up halfway through the body, and then I just have a maraca.
Yep, they don't like steel case ammo, which is again less of a problem these
This
days.
was
They don't think they
laser.
like extremely long loaded bullets. Like I have issues with
Yeah.
them trying to feed Federal Syntec 150, which is a 150 grain polymer jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're great training mags. Brock's got a video about that. I'm sure you watch it. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
buy
yeah.
a handful of those, abuse the piss out of them for training, and then keep your carry mag, a genuine 100% Glock brand Glock mag, loaded with your carry ammo, and don't let that one get gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, keep that one nice. Put that one away. Get its own little sock, like a Michael Jackson glove. Treat it nice.
Interesting. Yeah. So while we're talking about, let's get away from Michael Jackson and his gloves.
Glove, singular. He only has one.
Singular glove,
I had two.
Kevin, you uncultured swine.
I do want to make in defense of the PCC before we move on to something else. FRTs have really made PCCs in the short form factor, so we're talking about 15-inch and shorter. Something really appealing. It's cheap. It's very fun. Like let's be real.
There's a belt-fed 9mm upper too. There's always that.
Oh yeah, I briefly saw that.
I think there's a 9mm Gatling gun if you're really interested.
That's actually kind of sick.
So an FRT yeah, that's cool.
I am still waiting for the other shoe to drop. There's going to be a lot of people who are putting FRTs and blowback AR9s, and they're going to explode the fuck out of themselves.
Eventually,
we're just waiting for it to happen.
And then there'll be a mass outcry against FRTs by everybody. Yeah.
Presumably,
well, yeah. I don't really like AR9s in full auto. I have not shot one with an FRT, but in full auto, they're not like the most fun thing in the world. So I don't know that would be a gun that I'd like.
Well, there's also something to be said for like when you have spent a lot of time really dialing your serious guns in, and you've got these ARs that are tuned to perfection, and then you shoot like some overgas piece of shit or like some Cold War battle rifle, and you're just like, recoil's fun, man. Like, damn. I remember like back when guns were loud and scary, I was like, whoa, I'm shooting a gun. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a flashback.
I mean, it is.
You feel it in your
fucking
chest.
It's an event. I think we have a factory called submachine gun, and that thing is like a blur. It's just, and then you're out of ammo. Like, all right, cool.
The whole world goes a little bit gray while you're shooting.
It does.
It takes
it
you
does
back
go
to
a
when
little
you didn't
bit.
know dick about
Well,
shooting.
a little TBI.
It's very rattly.
Okay, a little TBI is totally fine.
A little TBI, dude. But that thing fucking goes through hammer pins, though. I will say, they are apparently known for not being super nice to hammer pins.
You know what would be cool with all these PCCs are suppressors. And now that we're in 2026, is it a must-have? Is it you might as well just get one because they are so easily obtainable?
That was a masterful pivot. I can see why you are a podcast professional.
Yes,
that's probably the only good pivot you're going to get. And look, I should have did this. I should have.
What? Why
do you're doing something that only shows up on your screen again?
What?
Kevin,
dude, you kind of ruined it. You should have taken the compliment. Now it's just awkward.
This is an admin thing.
Ruined it.
Why have you done this?
I carry handle podcasts to myself.
Yeah, there you go.
What?
See?
No, that's a Kevin thing.
Yeah,
that is your own thing.
All right.
You Kevin.
I don't know if you know this, but Kevin is actually part of a prestigious organization known as the Carry Handle Podcast. So he actually gets lumped into that.
Oh no!
My insanity gets lumped in.
No!
Guilty
by association.
If Kevin takes his pills, we all disappear.
He's just manifesting us.
The joke's on you. I've already taken my pills.
So bored. Oh no!
These are the good through your own hand, like in the.
All right. So what did you ask? You asked something about. We almost did it again. Suppressors. Is it a must-have?
Is it a must-have for people? Because
there's nothing that is a must-have, but
I mean,
nice.
like, why not? I guess the question is, why not get one now?
Money.
Before it was like, well, even now, I mean, some suppressors are coming in pretty cheap.
That's cheap one of the more interesting things to me. Like, if I never see another $1,000 3D printed semi-flow suppressor again, I'll already be happy. There's been enough of those, but what I have yet to still actually experience is these like $200, whatever, like incredibly cheap suppressors. That is the next thing that I'm interested in, and I'm sure eventually we'll plumb the depths of that, and then I'll be bored of that too. But like, suppressors started getting really, really high end for a bit there, and then with the the lack of a paid stamp, it seems like they're going to crater, and we're going to get some just complete
the
bullshit
prestige
tubes.
is gone.
Oh, I see everybody and their brothers going to start making them.
Well, it's kind of like what happened to the retro market. Is that it used to be cool and it used to mean something, but now you can go to PSA, which, by the way, I think is a net positive because it's easier for me because I'm lazy, but still fulfills and is valid to the point I'm trying to make.
This could be all right. Well, next episode, I would love to talk about that, the retro thing, and if PSA H&R is pro or con, but we don't want to get Carry Handle podcasted on that subject right now. So suppressors,
you know me too well. I was already thinking I'm a way to do it.
Write it down, save it for later.
Save it for later. I think we should talk about that. I think
Okay,
that's a compelling.
Hold on, wait. I'm going to
point.
do this. No one else can see me do this, but I'm going to write this down.
It's a
Try
good
to make
thing
pen
that-
scratching noises into the microphone, so it's like an experience for the viewer at home.
It feels like radio, like when I was really, I guess I was really young, but they used to have like storytellings on the radio.
But
Like
yeah, I
they'd
used to
tell
love
a story
old like
live.
NPR things where they would be like,
Yeah,
I'm at the city park today, and then they would play like a
Yeah.
45-second long thing of like footsteps crunching and birds tweeting, and you're like, I believe you. I believe that you're at the park. You don't have to prove it to me.
I got it.
It's almost not believable because
That's
we can see it now.
get
It does kind of blow the white balance out of it. Wow, really leaning into the fact that you guys have cameras.
You guys
that
have
no
a
one else can
strong
see.
command of the medium. I'll tell you that.
That the
We try.
camp or the audio only. Yeah, I keep trying to make that point, but he doesn't seem to.
I think it's funny because
Doesn't
I'm
wanna
never
honor
going to
that.
get that point.
It's good that there's so many references to something that nobody can see. It's great.
Well, they can use
Excellent.
their imagination.
Your imagination. Insert
So
Patrick
are we
Star.
suppressors or
So
just
suppressors? You guys want to
get
talk about
'em if you-
suppressors or like what?
Suppressors? Yeah, suppressors are cool. I think I think my opinion, because I went from having no experience with cans at all to some, like a normal amount, because I started going to events and people have suppressors there, and then and I am less concerned with the novelty of how quiet something can be, and I just kind of like that it's a little bit more like pleasant to shoot. It's not very much loud. Now, if it's a super gassy gun, that kind of fucking sucks. But if I can affect the shooting experience the least amount as possible, that's when I'm happy. I don't really care as much about like how movie quiet it is, unless of course it's like a goofy ass 22.
Unless it's a PCC with a subsonic ammunition and a suppressor. Bring it right back.
I have been
Oh.
eye fucking an MP5 SD because I think that would be
Don't.
fun.
And
Just
okay,
don't.
here's another hot
I
take.
want an
MP5
SD.
SDs are friggin' dumb as hell in the United States.
That gun sucks
I
so
think
hard.
they're cool.
Why? Why do
I
they
think
suck so
an
hard?
actual
They're cool. Okay, if you want it for, cool factor,
I want it-
second kind of cool.
I want a
MP5
cool
SDs
toy.
are really fun, especially if you put subsonic ammo in a subsonic, MP5 SD. Sure, cool. Do you know how else you can do that? You can run a 22 LR with a can. That's even cooler. But from a practical,
If all you want is the aesthetic, there is an HK licensed Umarex MP5 SD that will be quiet because it's a 22 and it'll look like an MP5 SD. And
but
you can,
from a
whatever.
practical
I'll be
standpoint,
sure to look
if you
into that.
want a suppressed gun that shoots really quiet, SDs are god awful because the way an SD works is the barrel is ported to turn supersonic ammunition into subsonic ammunition. You're robbing significant energy from the bullet, and it's making it, subsonic. In America, we can buy subsonic ammunition that is just heavier but using the same energy behind the bullet.
Yeah,
So you
it
can
costs
get the
more money.
subsonic effect without robbing 20%, 30% of the energy of the round to do so. And it's
What about
the same quietness level. So
what about the
but
seismic? What about the
cheap ammo.
seismic rounds out of an MP5 SD?
that would
only
be
works in Tarkov.
horrifically bad, actually. That would probably be less
It
than
works.
lethal.
It works in Tarkov though.
Well,
Does
so
it really? you think that the MP5 SD is like some really high-end bespoke firearm, but really it's just Europors trying to get a quiet gun without being able to afford new ammo. because they don't have unlimited military expenditure like we have. So they've got to make do, you know?
So,
And there's something to be said for making do.
I see the audience doesn't see their face right now, but I don't think you get it. So imagine taking your 9mm PCC, which is already kind of garbage terminally compared to what is available out there, and then being like, you know what, 9mm too fucking hot. Let's go down to 32 ACP. Let's go down to whatever. Let me pull more energy out of this thing to the point where a leather jacket is a notable a barrier for my round. Let me do that. That is what you're doing with an MP5 SD. It existed in the 80s when the Europeans couldn't buy, or this ammo didn't really exist. But nowadays, buying one is, it's cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the coolest things you can do. But SDs are really silly on the U.S. market, where we can buy 147 grains for like 5 cents a round more, both in a defensive ammo or an FMJ ammo.
So
I told you, I'm in a bad mood today. My dog is not in good shape.
So a better idea would be like an MP5K with the suppressors in?
No.
So what?
Also still bad. The MP5K is one of the largest small guns ever made. The MP5 platform is so fucking balls, dude. Please stop. Stop trying to make MP5 a thing. It's not going to work.
It's bad on the U.S. market because it doesn't behave with all the things we want it to do. We want to suppress it. We want to run flat nose subsonics. We want to do all this stuff. We like ergonomics.
The last resort of the MP5 fan is to be like, well, a lot of these issues can be solved if you get the Knights rail. You're like, yeah, the Knights rail that hasn't been made in 20 years and costs $750. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping.
I strictly want a gun for the vibes. I have no utility in mind for this thing other than I'm going to shoot it inside without
just get some fucking airsoft, man.
What little dreams I had left in the MP5 from now.
That's all I want. Dude, that thing is so sick. That fucking, I love that.
Oh, hey, look, it's Arbiter. You have to tell us what you're holding because, it's
you guys remember this is an audio podcast, right?
Yeah, this is audio.
If you just want vibes, you get yourself the officially licensed Halo Plasma Rifle Gel Blaster, which I'm holding in my hand right now.
It's a gel blaster.
Yeah. And then you've got
it's a
vibes,
lot cheaper.
And it's cheap, and it's
the vibes are immaculate.
Now, can you get 2 of them in dual wields like Halo 2?
Nope, that's impossible, actually. They'll only sell you one at a time.
It's locked, yeah.
It's impossible
They know
to get
how
2.
many you own. It's only $100.
That's crazy.
Gel blasters kind of fucking suck, as Luke and I found out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Didn't you put an optic on yours, Bryce? Didn't we buy some and play around with them?
Yeah, I had a G36 one, and I had an actual. Well, yeah, I had a bunch of parts I wasn't using, so I had a LAM. Like I had a Somo gear pack, and I had an EOTech I wasn't using, and a BCM foregrip and some other shit. I was like, well, I guess I could just put it here. That was fun.
If I can deploy my anti-carry handle podcast seeking missile, suppressors. I had this expectation when I started shooting a lot of suppressors. I was like, I'm going to love going back to unsuppressed guns because I'm not going to be getting gassed out anymore. But I think Brock and I keep realizing that, like, we're so used to guns being suppressed now that when somebody brings out the unsuppressed gun and starts shooting next to you, you're just like, oh, stop, please, my God. My brain cells can't take it anymore. It's actually, you get used to suppressed guns, and then, yeah, you really do. You're like, I know this is going to ruin every gun that I put a suppressor on, and yet I have to do it now. Shooting unsuppressed guns becomes almost intolerable. So maybe that's a warning against it. Yeah, exactly. Don't dip your toe in suppressor because then you're going to have... you can't just buy one suppressor. You're going to end up with every gun has a special suppressing, muzzle device and a dedicated suppressor and all that
what's
stuff.
What's the shotgun
tune them all.
Like the Nova 12 or something, shotgun suppressor?
Your shotgun suppressors
We haven't tried that yet,
work.
but I kind of want to because...
Shotgun suppressors are fucking sick. I want to talk about vibes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I could
the
suppress
vibes
my
are
940.
through the roof, the practicality below rock bottom. Shotgun suppressors.
See, what I wanted is
are
that
purely notional. The difference between an actual shotgun suppressor and a tube at the end of your gun that does absolutely nothing whatsoever. Indistinguishable. Not really, but
Incredible.
I'll say,
but
shotguns
you're
are
the
already
#1
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Could we make them worse? I guess we could suppress them. I think somebody needs to make an integrally suppressed shotgun because you've got so much tube to work with. Yeah. I don't know why that doesn't exist yet.
But wouldn't that just neuter the shotgun rounds?
Why
Like we were
didn't
talking
Sons
about
of
the
Guns
MP5
make
ST?
an integrally
how
suppressed
suppressors- yeah,
AK-12? Never been done before.
What
Also,
do we
I
even
got a
want to
chance
talk
to
about with
shoot-
suppressors? What was the actual?
Well,
Oh,
so
oh,
I
the
guess
actual
the,
question-
the
the
meat and
question-
potatoes was like, what was the point? Like, is it
Like,
a
should-
requirement?
Should
And I guess-
should people want to should that be
And-
part of the kit build? Like
What I was going to
rifle-
add,
rifle
yeah.
light
What-
optic suppressor.
what I was going to add is I've actually become more and more interested in really light suppressors. That seems kind of nice because a lot of those are usually like flow through. So they're not very quiet per se, but they also aren't, like super gassy, which is kind of nice. And they don't weigh a lot, so you can swing them around a little bit. So it's
That's
not too
kind of where
bad.
my interest lies currently. Like, because most of what we shoot is 5.56, and
Yeah.
trying really, really hard to suppress 5.56 is kind of not worth it because at the end of the day, it's still supersonic and loud as fuck. But there's so
Yep.
many benefits to even what you might consider a bad suppressor. Like people say, like the Hux 5.56K Flow is a bad suppressor because it doesn't suppress as much. But it's like, I don't know, man, because that makes the gun shoot much softer. The
Mhm.
concussion is just gone. It's no longer unpleasant to you or bystanders. It's relatively lightweight. It's not the lightest skin because it's not titanium or anything like that. But you're like, this has no effect on the gun, doesn't gas me out. It makes the shooting experience more pleasant. There's also that thing people are now getting worried about of like micro TBIs from muzzle blast. So maybe
Yeah.
when Huxworks decided that they were now a safety company, maybe they weren't completely off base.
Yeah, I guess just looking at it more like I would like a muzzle brake or a flash hider. It's just a thing that helps mitigate some unpleasantness.
Yep. But it is an expensive thing. And also the other thing that I think we've also learned is that there is one flow-through can on the market, and it's the Hux 5.56K Flow. Or the Hux system. And then everything else is balanced back pressure, meaning that you buy a low back pressure suppressor that is not a Hux, you're going to have to tune the gun probably. Otherwise, it's still going to run hard, and you're still going to get gassed out a little bit because they still have more back pressure. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of those designs that are there. I struggle to decide if I like them or hate them. It's like they're big and heavy. They cost a lot of money. The gun requires tuning. I still get gassed out. But also their signature performance is extremely good. And you're like, yeah, but is that what I really want? Or do what I want on one end is the Otter Creek Labs Polonium K, which is a very quiet suppressor. It's extremely high back pressure, but it's cheap and it's indestructible. And then on the other end, I pay $1,000 for my Huxworks, and then I get the, doesn't affect the firearm, doesn't gas me out. Granted, it's loud, but then again, it's 5.56 already loud. Those are like the two extremes that I feel like I'm most interested in. And all the stuff in the middle of balanced back pressure, I don't know. As a shooter, I don't think I enjoy those cans or want to spend the money on them. But that's where I'm at currently.
Okay.
I feel like the only time I've been interested in a traditional sort of design would be like any of the Mark 12 like AE line of suppressors. But past that, it's usually just flow through or 3D printed or something similar like that because I don't find a lot of I'm not shooting like PRS. Like I know there's a different market for precision cans. I realize that's a whole different thing. They got their own muzzle brake system and all that
There's
kind
a
of
lot
stuff.
of
Area
overlap there,
419.
not to interrupt you.
No,
Cans
yeah,
are
yeah.
very
Okay.
recoil reducing.
Right.
Like the Flow 5.56K is cheat codes. Like the amount of people, not to bring them back to the Mark 1, that are like, oh, this don't shoot so well. It's like it's the Flow 5.56K. That's what's doing the heavy lifting. suppressors, especially flow suppressors. The Ekron is a really good example of this. Just our recoil deleter 9000s, and they make the gun more pleasant to be around. So to tie it back to the where you guys were getting at with it, those cans are just, I think in a lot of ways, just auto includes. If money is not that big of a deal, it makes the gun nicer to be around. It reduces the recoil. They don't really add that much more gas. Is it titanium and looks like a fucking firecracker in low light conditions? Sure, but do you really care about how you look to someone else shooting at you? For most people, no. So I don't actually mind these cans nearly as much in that use case.
How
That's good.
are the muzzle devices when the can's not on it?
Depends on the can. The 5.56K is the worst
Really
muzzle
bad.
device I've ever seen that is classified as a flash hider. That thing is horrendous. It's worse than a muzzle brake. Like, it is awful.
Interesting.
But
Ugh.
other
So-
things are not nearly as bad. The what is it called? Ekron is a hub compatible can. It doesn't have a native flash hider designed for it, so you can just throw on something, just a generic 3-prong or whatever, and those are fine, right?
Interesting.
Newest can that
interesting.
I got is from Exigent Defense. It is the Fire Team 5.56. A lot of people keep asking me about this one and the Roadie, and I don't have a Roadie. I don't have one on the way, but I mean, Brock and I shot a mag through one of PSR's guns with a Roadie on it, and it seemed pretty good. But this is the first time I've ever had a manufacturer specifically say this. But Exigent says their suppressor works best if you just direct thread it and you don't add any kind of muzzle brake or flash hider into the mix. You just direct thread. And
Wow,
there's so
that's
much to like
interesting.
about a direct thread suppressor. It's you reduce the weight and the bulk. You reduce the cost because you're not buying a bunch of or muzzle devices and mounts and everything. The simplicity of mounting it, so much to be said for it. But the main downside is practicality, where you're like, well, now my gun is too long to fit in the bag. That's a completely not. It's the most real world argument, unless we're all wrong and the world sucks really bad tomorrow, right? For now, living in the white civilian life, things like I want to be able to suppress all my guns with just one can. That's a huge selling point. I want my gun to be small so I can fit it in the bag and take it to the range. That's a huge selling point. If you ever really need that rifle for something, those things are going to be like, why did I ever give a fuck about that? But, we don't know.
I mean, you
That's
care about it
speculative.
until you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. So, yeah, I absolutely understand. It's like if you are 100% chasing the practicality, then being able to set a gun up in one configuration, dedicated suppressed, the gun is tuned for suppressor, the suppressor's not fucking coming off, you made it, light and short. That is a very excellent gun configuration. But if you're trying to maximize your enjoyment out of a very expensive purchase, okay, now you want that bitch hub compatible because you're going to want to try all your guns suppressed. Once you shoot one gun suppressed, you're like, I wonder what my other guns would be like suppressed. And either that means $1,000 per gun, or you accept some compromises. Maybe I make this can a little bit less effective, but I make it more versatile.
Right.
Hmm.
Which also a caveat being some cans are optimized for being direct thread like that can is, or
Yep.
some are optimized for muzzle devices, and the internal geometry is that so that they can accommodate effectively a blast chamber.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious about that because Huxworks says their Flow 556K needs that muzzle device, and yet I've shot them with the weird, TBI inducer 9000 with the aftermarket ones that don't ping as much, and they've produced cans that use the similar, or maybe it's exact same geometry in the 30 cal TI,
The Ventum is their hub compatible
The
one,
Ventum-
and it's
the
a
Ventum
little
one.
different, but it's not that different, is it?
and it's not that different,
Yeah.
and I don't notice that much performance difference. I think they autism spurg the fuck out, and they chase 2%, 5% of performance, and it actually really doesn't need that muzzle device. And the Flow 556 muzzle device is something that we've done by mistake and should have never been created. And I know.
Well,
It's
that was
expensive.
kind of my
It's
only.
heavy. It goes ping.
Yeah.
It's loud as fuck with no can. I mean, yeah, it's
The biggest upside is that it is designed to be reverse thread, which is an important aspect because a lot of direct thread, sort of taper direct thread style muzzle devices if you're running them hard as fuck, will unthread themselves at some point.
Well, the Hux,
the
one
Hux
of you
does.
two, I think, had a video of like shooting it tight, right?
They all shoot it tight, right?
Yeah,
that's how it works.
that's
They're
fucking
rubber.
sick. I think that's hilarious.
You need a tool to remove it. We were doing a lot of testing, and there's
That's
a
less
crescent
fun.
wrench that needs to be present every time
That sucks.
you need to musical chairs your Hux.
So you can't, in theory, just like permanently seize that. Just run a few mags back to back to back to back.
No, it's not a theory. It's in practice. You need a tool to remove
God
a
bless.
Hux after about a mag or two, because the gun gets
Wow.
hot on top of that.
Yeah.
And it will thermally seize on top of also just self-tightening itself. And yeah, you need a tool.
Incredible.
Wow. What a feature.
That's really cool, but also kind of sounds like a pain in the ass.
It's a
Maybe
massive
a little
pain
bit.
in the ass, but it's also convenient
Sick.
because
Yeah.
meanwhile, my cat white bread, the best suppressor ever. If you do something wrong with this, you're an idiot, as per their marketing. Unthreads itself regularly.
Interesting.
Oh, you hate to hear that.
But to be fair, as do every single once again thread taper mount cans. They will unthread themselves eventually because it's screws. It's a screw, and you're hand tightening it. That's how you put a can on, right? You
Is
put
there
it
any
between
way
the
to-
legs and go. And then,
Is there any way to mitigate that, or is this just the fact of
you
life?
can tool
strap
tighten them,
wrench.
but then you run into the issue of it's tightened in the same sort of thread direction as your muzzle device. And every once in a while, maybe you didn't do a good enough job, you'll just pull the muzzle device off with the can.
It is a battle. It's the battle of the Loctite and torque. Who
So
got
that's-
it better?
I mean, Loctite's not going to really, it's
You-
gonna, you're
You
going to
really hope you torque down that muzzle device.
So my other most consistent system is this Polonium K on a Reardon Atlas,
That's where I'm moving
and
towards the rear.
a Reardon R2S, I think, is the muzzle device, and this one is pinned and welded, so it's not coming off with any amount of torque that would require this to come off. And the Polonium K, I don't know, like a lot of people, I don't think have a great understanding of what hand tight is. It's not hand firm, it's hand tight. So like as much as you can get out of your hands, you should probably be using to hand tighten these things. And I've never had this thing walk off. It never really seizes up that badly. This has been overall a really good system. Go full on Reardon Plan B. Hate to give KB any credit, but Plan B is legitimately a pretty good system.
Yeah. Well, so would you say it is worth having a muzzle device and not just direct thread, or just having a direct thread then?
Well,
Like for
I can keep-
pure,
man,
like
I'm
if we're
starting to-
keeping it performance focused, I mean, like other than like, yes, I want to suppress all my guns, but like,
as far as I know, the only can that can legitimately claim that the muzzle device really improves the performance is the Hux. Otherwise, people talk about
okay,
like brakes as a sacrificial muzzle or a sacrificial baffle, which
Yeah.
is slightly true in a small sense, but just not in a meaningful way, I don't think. There's also the other fact, there's currently this series of videos being done by the desktop guys where every suppressor they're testing to destruction, they're using a single port brake. And the single port brake is directing all of the fire and concussion straight out to the sides where the walls of the suppressor are the thinnest, meaning that they're probably going to destroy every can in the same way. They're going to heat up the back end in the blast chamber, and they're going to blow it apart right there.
That's also the hottest part of a can,
yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Whereas if they were doing them all direct thread, I think they would last significantly longer under these incredibly torturous strings of fire. So, I guess it's a question of if you're trying to make the suppressor last a lifetime or if you're trying to make it last an entire combat mag dump, So that's a little bit of again, one of those
Interesting.
choices where like one of those things is very practical for real life, which is I don't want to buy another $1,000 tube. The other one is more practical for a hypothetical scenario where you're like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of this thing in a bad situation. If money was no object, yeah, I would want to have basically one suppressor dedicated to all my builds because I don't want to have to. Tuning a gun so that it can do both is a real pain in the ass. That's why we do stuff like rifle speed gas blocks, which are expensive and can be finicky, or we do bootleg carriers, which can have hit and miss quality control. We do these things because we want to conveniently tune the gas up and down on a whim based on what if I take the can off? What if I forgot to bring the can? Kind of shit like that.
We have a 11.5-inch gun at work
Interesting.
with a Black River Tactical or some BRT tuned gas tube, and it won't cycle without a can, like a low back pressure can. But with it on it is the most pleasant thing I have ever shot in my life.
Yeah, I like
so
the idea
very
of those
nice.
BRT tubes because of how fine the tuning can be. I mean, like they can tune the port on the gas tube to pretty much anything you want. My preferred system for that is what's in the gun that I'm showing to not our viewers because they can't see us. This is a YHM suppressor gas block, so it's an $18 part that replaces the $18 part you were going to buy anyway.
I forgot about that.
And this thing cuts the gas way down. So this is a high back pressure suppressor system. And so what I do is a $18 gas block and then a blue spring, Sprinko blue spring, and an H3 buffer. And this thing shoots extremely well. Technically, if you've got differing back pressures, I think you can actually progressively drill out the port of those YHM gas blocks a little bit more if you need more gas. But I mean, yeah, most suppressors that are not low flow or low back pressure designs kind of all have the same amount of back pressure, which is to say lots, meaning that you can put that gas block on there, cut the gas way down, and it's still going to work pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Versus paying Black River Tactical, whatever it is, $80 for a gas tube because they've done the math for you.
Yeah,
they're doing the hard work. You're just paying the money.
Math is hard.
I hate math. I will do anything. I'll suck your dick if you do a math problem for me. I don't want to do it.
I went to public school, sir, so my math is not very good.
I'm an engineer, so my math is even worse. We got traumatized by one too many tests where we mistakenly do head math that costs us entire letter point in the grade. So I'm doing 2 times 3 in a calculator.
I will standard deviation
bless.
your ass right to the back of the class.
I always feel like I know something until I'm like asked like really, really directly, "Are you sure?" It's like, well, now I'm not. I fucking know.
I only
The
know
hell?
some quick math because I do it all the time at work. Anyway, that's I don't want to carry handle podcast this. So, all right, here's the last question of topic of discussion. It's kind of a 2-part. So, state of gun tube as it is now, and if tomorrow YouTube said fuck off, no more guns, what other hobbies would you pivot into?
Making content on specifically.
Making content on specifically.
Yeah, that's.
And no, you can't say porn.
So,
I mean, you can,
What?
I guess.
I just
Is
want
this
to throw
just
it out
because
there.
you don't want to watch
is that
my
a
porn,
Freudian?
sir?
Somebody wants some.
I'll have you know that if I did porn, it would be great and you would love it, okay?
His porn would be very artsy. It'd be that
Oh,
stuff you have to pay
God.
extra
Yep.
for. Because
I would. I feel like
Well,
it'd be-
because
have,
I'd
like,
have
a
to get
French
Luke to shoot
vibe.
it for me, so every shot would be like through 4 layers of
Carry handle
parallax, and I would not be in
podcast this
focus.
immediately. God.
So the state of YouTube then.
So this is something we disagree with a little bit. I'm assuming this is pivoting off of the truth and freedom video, because I think that got a little bit of traction. Maybe
Mr. T.
I don't know. But a lot of
I
people
don't know what that is.
I think
I'm
he's the one that
sorry.
started the current discussion on it, at least.
Well, it's
I
kind
know
of,
I saw a focus trip video on it, and then I think I saw a Ben Steger video on it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the
They were
video
all reacting
titles.
to Truth and Freedom's
Yeah,
video,
I
I
hadn't
believe.
actually
Okay.
watched any of them, and then he was like, "Hey, how about we do this or this topic?" And I'm like, "That's a good idea."
so I guess is there any validity to that? In
Well,
no.
so Brock and I are supposed to get Mr. Truth and Freedom on a live probably in the next week or so to try to talk about some of that stuff. I don't know. I kind of tend to feel like if a person is watching any of the channels that have been involved in this discourse, they are not actually part of the metric because they're just such a small subset of the audience. Same reason we just bring this example up over and over again because it never fails. Go to a Grantham video, find a comment where someone is like, "Oh, what does your first wife think about that?" And then all the comments are going to be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Nobody knows. Nobody has any goddamn clue. Same thing is, GunTube is dying. Nobody knows that. No normal person even gives a fuck. You could just confront them to their face and be like, "You are being shilled to." And they're like, "Okay." And then they continue to watch because I don't think any of them give a shit. So I don't know. Is GunTube dying? There's also the possibility that people are doing that problem where you say, look at a Grantham video posted yesterday versus one posted 10 years ago. And you're like, look, his views are down. You're like, no, one of those has been accumulating views for 10 years. The other one was posted yesterday. So that's not a great comparison either. I don't know. I don't know if GunTube is dying. I'm not confident to say that.
We're off of the back of probably the biggest gun growth eras in human history, which is COVID, after the Trump, shenanigans and all that. Only because we're down from the high doesn't mean we're down from, we're still in a really good spot. Yes, we're down from the high, and YouTube is giga-saturated, and GunTube is discovering what every single industry has discovered. Influencers are actually cocksuckers, right? Yes, all of this is happening. Is it down? Hard to say. I don't think so.
So you're saying
also it's summer, right? This is just a historic. Every content creator has a fucking heart attack around this time because people just don't watch videos around this time.
Yeah.
Well, they're outside doing stuff.
Hopefully, they're outside doing stuff.
I swear, I think that's the theory, but I don't even know if it's that. I think it just ebbs and flows. What humans are just. Yeah, I don't know.
You're saying that we had such a high that this slight normal dip feels people are going nuts.
Yeah. You can expand it to companies, right? Like people are talking about the gun industry's in a retraction. It's like I view it more as companies that shouldn't have been allowed to be companies are dying off, and everyone else is contracting back. What are you doing with your camera, Kevin?
It's the Chinese camera.
He talks so much shit about my terrible attention span, and then he does shit like that.
It's not me. It's the fucking Chinese
Fighting
camera.
for my life, man.
I just got carried on the podcast. Yeah.
He's like our very own live-action Subway Surfers in the corner.
Oh, no. Well, so it's interesting. You talk about people not knowing, and using Grantham viewers in terms of not knowing drama around him, but it's kind of like people buying P320s. There's a shitload of people that just are like, oh, it says SIG. Those are probably good, right? And then they just buy them, and then they're so confused when you make a joke about it because they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's
why are you making fun of my gun? It's really funny.
Or if Trump mentions it, I guess they might notice. But
we think of ourselves as high information, enthusiasts, but to the outside world, we just look like schizophrenics because we say stuff that makes no sense to the normal human mind. Like the employed person cannot fathom any of the shit that we talk about. We just seem like the lunatic fringe. We are the lunatic fringe. To be honest,
I genuinely sounded schizophrenic when I was talking about the Ruger Beretta stuff. I was like, no, you don't understand. It's unprecedented. Why Ruger?
And we are also, as I think Brock pointed out, we are seeing the bubble burst. It was absolutely a bubble. And the way that you know you're in a bubble is when people say there is no bubble. That's how you know it's a bubble for sure. The level of interest and sales that was going on for several years is absolutely unsustainable. And I think that for a lot of companies, if you're a publicly traded company, it's your fiduciary responsibility to the shareholder, right? To produce profits. So if the industry is going crazy, you're going to be like, all right, let's buy machines, let's hire people, let's add factory space so we can make more profit right now. If they're smart, they know in a couple of years we're going to have to sell some of these machines and lay some people off, but that's okay because in the meantime we're making profits for our shareholders and that's our responsibility as a company. So yeah, it sounds I've heard, Luke and I have a lot of contacts in the industry and we've heard from a lot of them that people are getting laid off and stuff. And it's not Americans are never going to buy guns again. It's just like Americans bought guns for as long as they could, and they ran out of money, and now they have to stop for a while. But it'll come back. You know, it's just money, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it always comes back, right?
Ah,
Well,
that's cool.
that's interesting. So more of a lull, and then we're just kind of evening out.
Or we're in
I
deep
like the
denial because our
optimistic.
jobs are about to stop existing and we don't want to admit it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I mean,
starting to evaporate before
Well,
you.
you know, so
This
5
has happened a
stages of
couple
grief.
times before, and you got to remember the last time we were in this contraction, a shitload of gun tubes, sort of channels just fucking imploded over the course of 2 to 3 years and just became
Yeah.
non-viable. Like people aren't quitting their gun tube jobs because they don't like it. People are quitting their gun tube jobs because they fall off the viability, spectrum, and
Yeah.
better channels or different channels replace them. And how many channels do you recall that you used to watch that you no longer watch? They still may produce videos, but they're just not around. And it's because there was a huge influx of viewers, and then it tapered off, and you're gonna lose the companies that don't know what they're doing, that are just not any good. You're also gonna lose some channels in the
Yeah.
process.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, there's the
Well-
other thing that I often see, I guess, is people suggesting that when people get tired of the consumerism angle of it, as in they'll stop watching product launch and product reviews, and then they will go on to the skill building side of it. And that sounds really nice, but I don't think it's true. And one of the biggest reasons for that is that you don't get better at shooting by watching a Ben Steger video. You get better at shooting by employing the practices that he recommends in live fire. But that's
Yeah.
expensive and time consuming, and people don't do that. So the difference between somebody who doesn't shoot watching a product review and somebody who doesn't shoot watching a Ben Steger review, there is no difference. The net result is the same. They're not improving their shooting abilities. Maybe they're just choosing to watch some skill stuff because it makes them feel better at shooting versus watching some product stuff, which makes them feel like they're better equipped, right? It doesn't really translate. I don't know.
Yeah, like
There is a reason that
Yeah.
people don't enjoy like competition shooting stuff and training focused content. And it's not just content, or it's not like consumer brain. It's just the reality of like, you could learn something from a review video or a product launch video. You can't really become a better shooter by watching somebody shoot. That's like the first 10% of it, whatever. The rest of it's all going to be you on, doing dry fire, doing reps, shooting rounds at the range or whatever. So even if people don't consciously understand that, I think that's one of the many reasons why people don't consume as much competition content or training-based content. It also tends to look like butt because you're not allowed to film in front of the 180. And you know why Luke's camera angles look so juicy? It's because he doesn't care if he lives or dies. So he's going to go ahead and put himself downrange in the splash zone.
God bless.
Wow, God.
Man, you get close to those 180s, and
that
you might
makes
as well
me-
just be downrange. I mean,
Oh, I'm a little butthurt. I
180
just
is
realized my
nothing.
webcam has been my microphone this whole time.
That's why you sound like shit.
Oh, I was wondering.
I just thought you were sick and tired.
that's awesome.
Whatever.
You like to figure it out right at the end there. You just squeak it in like, hey, you know what? This could have been better.
All right. So what hobbies or what content would you make?
Well, I
If-
think that's a misunderstanding of why we do gun tube stuff. We did gun tube stuff because we already had guns as a hobby,
Right.
and then we happened to film it with no expectation of success. I think a lot of gun tubers do it like with the goal of it being a job, and that's not why we did it in the first place. So the answer here is, what are you going to do after gun tube fails? I'm still going to do the same
No,
stuff
no,
I do
no.
with a smaller budget.
That was not that. So that was not the intended question. The intended question was, if you had to make content on YouTube and it can be guns, what would it be? So like, what hobby would you make content on? It wasn't supposed to be if GunTube
Looks.
collapsed, because no, I didn't want to ask that
No,
question because I
I-
think it's stupid.
No, I think I think I get what you're saying. Like, you have the guns, you're making the videos just because
I would
you
still
wanna
make
do
gun
it.
tube content,
Yeah,
right? I would go on a different thing. It just would have a smaller budget, and I'd have to get a real job. I already do video game stuff, and Hop already does video game stuff, so I think that answers that question.
Oh, there
I
you
say
go. Video
most
games.
people who are doing this stuff have a compulsion to continue to produce something about something. Or I think there's probably a defect in some of our brains that causes us to do this, where we're like, whatever it is that I'm doing, I feel like I need to document it and show people because I'm some kind of weird narcissistic exhibitionist or something like that. I'm not sure what's wrong with me, but whatever it is that I'm currently hyperfixated on, I will probably try to turn that into a video because that's the thing I like doing, I guess. I like to demonstrate. Yeah, I want to share the experience or the, whatever lessons I can learn. I want to share those. Yeah, I don't know. If I could no longer post gun stuff to YouTube, I would absolutely do way less shooting and buying because a big part of it is like, do I really want this optic? No, but do I want to try it and then let people know, how it goes? Yes, that's the appeal to me. It's not I need to know if this optic is good or not. It's
he likes the pain. That's what this is. He likes it to hurt a little bit.
Not even that. It really is just a like. If I do this, then we can all learn something. But if that's no longer an option, if I'm not able to share that message at all, then I would be substantially less interested. Then of course, it would be a very, very rare occurrence where something was so interesting that I was like, I need to try this just for my own edification. So the access to an audience is part of, why this happens in the first place. Because you're like, I have the opportunity to try something with people,
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
we are
everyone
social
has
creatures.
that thing. We just happen to have a budget for it. It's like, whoa, that's neat. Is that $900, $1,500, $500 neat? No, I'll let somebody else figure that out for me, right? Because most of the time, that is good enough, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
I feel like I would just end up doing airsoft stuff because I just like mechanical things and it's gun shaped, so.
Well,
I suspect in
I
this
did that when I was a
hypothetical,
kid.
YouTube would be like, you know what? None of it at all. Not even fake guns. So I think you'd still need to find a new thing. But
I have to find a completely new
YouTube-
thing, even in my own question.
YouTube is a
That's terrible.
conundrum because it's like
It is very fickle, isn't it?
I feel like AI is just slowly taking over the world.
Do you guys are you guys on like the alternative sites, like on Rumble and stuff like that?
I tried. It was not worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
that answered my question.
People be like, you got to get on Rumble. You're like, I'm on Rumble. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize. You're like, yeah, you didn't check. Also,
You're not
been
on
Rumble.
there.
Yeah.
You're not on there.
Not on Rumble.
You know who's not on Rumble?
The fuck you telling
You.
you.
Otherwise, you would have
You
known
sack
this.
of shit. Yeah. All right. Kevin, was that all the questions that we had for these fine gentlemen?
Yes.
Wow. All that. How big was the piece of paper that you were reading off of?
Do you really want to know?
I kind of feel like you looked at like 3 things and you were like, "Man, is that it?" And then
I
now
don't.
we're
I don't have a piece of paper. It's just a little.
perfect. That's
I'm,
even
I'm,
better.
I'm,
I
I'm
love
actually
it.
using Notepad, which is the best fucking application known to man. The
God,
Windows
fucking
Notepad.
bless.
Windows Notepad used to be the best application. Then they added spell check, and they added the ability for Notepad to freeze up. I don't know how
How's that
long that's
bad?
been in Windows. It's probably been in there since like Windows 3.1. So
Is
in
that what
30
it's
years,
frozen right now? God damn it! I was wondering that.
for 30 years, Notepad is the only unstoppable app on Microsoft Windows, and now it's just as enshittified as the rest of them.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Copilot's going to be in there on like it'll look like Clippy except it's Copilot in disguise. Right-hand
That.
corner.
Hey, if
Oh.
you didn't have that weird ape guy, that what was this stupid virus that you got in the 90s? If you didn't have that, you weren't cool.
What
Bonsai.
I'm remembering was it Microsoft Bob? The little
Microsoft.
virtual assistant guy where you could like load up Microsoft Bob and you could like go to his
The
house
guy with
and
the
ask him questions and
glasses?
shit. Yeah,
was,
Microsoft
like,
Bob
an
might just be the name of one of their
animation-
text-to-speech things, but there was this fucking like Windows 95 thing where you could like go into a dude's
Right.
house and like click on him and make him do shit, and it was like supposed to be a productivity tool, and it just was not.
So what we're going to find out later
Jesus.
is he's going to message us back and be like, "Oh no, that was just a fever dream. I was drinking a lot of Benadryl."
It was Microsoft Bob. All right.
Oh no, he's
This is
bigger.
really making me
Wait,
disturbed.
did we just get Carry Handle podcast?
Hold on. I just got a message from Luke. Time blindness got him. End quote.
Oh,
That happens to the best of us,
poor
boys.
Luke.
That'll happen to the best of us.
He was in
you
the
know
vortex.
what? It does happen.
Well,
it
you know
tends to
what that
happen.
means? Means we have to do this again with a whole nother set of
Except with him, ideally,
interesting questions.
We
Yeah,
have
he
to
doesn't do
restart
this
the
again.
show right now. Throw out everything that we
Yeah.
recorded already.
All
It's
right.
completely bunk.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're listening to this, this is the new beginning of the next show. Here we go.
Jesus.
But,
help me.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And honestly, it is because of you, the listener, that we get to do stuff like this. And thank you to Brass Facts and Mr. Hop for giving us the time of day to do this nonsense.
Yeah,
it is
it was
really
awesome.
very much appreciated.
It's really cool. We get the Carry Handle podcast professional people now.
Just distract people, professionally distract people.
Don't
That's
call
good.
me professional.
A moderately better than average person.
Moderately worse.
Moderately, yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, guys. I'm going to hit the outro. Wait, I can find it. There it is.